AM 560, The Answer.
In February of 2026, I disguised myself as a homeless person and approached a petition circulator on Skid Row near San Pedro and South 6th Street in downtown LA. I saw cash clipped to his shirt, which I thought was odd. The petition circulator told me, we're going to need 14 signatures and we're going to pay you $2. One of our reporters, disguised as a heroin addict with track marks on his arm, asked the homeless, what's going on here? They all replied with one word, money. We recorded a woman named Brown handing over cash as payment in exchange for a homeless person to register to vote in a federal election. Now that is a federal crime. Congress expressly criminalizes payments to people to register to vote. Why? Because the vote is sacred. It's an act of conscience, of justice.
But what about when you have none? What when you have none? When you're a low-life fraud, then who's in charge of it all, Squirrel? What do they call those? What do they call those bureaucrats suck-ons? Secretary of State, right? And all that? I believe it is.
You may have seen this. These are bold-faced lies. This individual was never issued an Illinois driver's license.
Jeannie Ives, because in sanctuary cities, and Alexi Giannoulias not only allows illegal scum to vote, he gives them driver's licenses. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens have gotten driver's license from right there in what used to be a great state, next to what used to be a great city, next to a county who's run by Grady from Sanford & Son. Ass-face Preckwinkle.
Period. Using a family's tragedy to manufacture a false political narrative is deceitful, reprehensible, and does nothing to improve public safety. Instead, it exploits a victim, misleads the public, and inflames outrage with the claim that is flatly false.
Did Larry Sinclair say anything about Alexi? He probably wasn't in the limo.
Look, government can't solve all our problems, but it should make life just a little easier. As Secretary of State, we demand better. We made it faster and easier to go to the DMV, but we made it harder for Trump and ICE to violate your rights, to hurt.
What was he talking to? Right there, who's he talking to? Trump and ICE. Trump and ICE ain't going to violate my rights. You know why, Squirrel? Legal. You're legal too, right? Yeah, you look legal. He's talking about protecting illegal aliens one day, and then he's denying the fact that he gives the illegal aliens protection. It's fracking beautiful. And in Illinois, who's going to catch up on it? A Chicago public school student?
Mark, CPS has an almost $1 billion budget hole to fill, and besides layoffs, furloughs, a spending freeze, and more tax increment financing money, known as TIFs, is how the district plans to balance its budget.
Hey, what will it cost to get, say, 20 kids out of 100 to read? How about 18 to do math? Will it cost more or less than the $33,000 it costs right now to have a bunch of illiterates tear up the streets? That's the real question I'd like to ask.
Thank you, Caroline. Sure. Regarding the president's speech tonight, he's been in office over 540 days now. If what he says is tonight is backed up by evidence, why hasn't anyone been charged?
Well, he hasn't revealed it yet. He hasn't declassified the documents yet, and you will see what he says tonight, and then we'll move forward appropriately from there.
This is that girl who looks like Pierce Bronson. Why hasn't anybody been charged is because the election thief and all of the people you propagandize for, known as Democrats, control the areas where the prosecutions must happen, the areas that stole the 2020 election.
There were many, many problems discovered during the Maricopa audit. So in the first place, the Senate subpoenaed the ballots, and the Board of Supervisors delayed 5 months before they delivered the ballots. Out of 1,600 something boxes, all but about 50, the seals were missing or had been broken.
What's Pierce Bronson's name in drag, the one dingbat broad? How come he didn't do a story on Maricopa County or Wisconsin? How come you didn't do a story on Wisconsin or Michigan?
The Justice Department?
I don't speak on behalf of the Justice Department, Caitlin. You know that. Rachel.
By evidence, will there be charges?
You'll have to ask the Justice Department. I don't charge people. I just speak on behalf of the president. Rachel.
Thanks, Caroline. Welcome back. Just a point of clarification really quick on the staffer who is accused of profiting off of the president's speeches. You said he'll no longer be...
A staffer that profited off the president's speeches. How many illegal aliens profited off the dimwit in diapers fiefdom, policies that were created to steal money. How many?
This nonprofit is making up to $7 million to vet state grants. But here's what they missed. If we haven't met yet, I'm Ryan with 5 Investigates. It's called the Neighborhood Development Center, a prominent Twin Cities nonprofit charged with vetting businesses that have applied for taxpayer-funded promise grants. But I found businesses that should have never been approved, including one that did not even finish its application.
Now, Squirrel, do you know why nobody gets prosecuted? I mean, if you really break down the scandal to Caitlin Collins' question, why has nobody been prosecuted? Who would prosecute them? Crooked Democrats on the take?
Keith Ellison, that guy, after overlooking $250 million in fraud, he took $10,000 in campaign contributions from the very people who were committing the fraud, who came to see him in his office, asked him to please get state investigators off of their backs, which he did.
That's why they're not prosecuted, Caitlin. Someone was dumb enough to think Democrats could prosecute crooks when they are the crooks.
This squad member's having a very bad, no good week. Ayanna Presley's husband miraculously got the winning bid on a $2 billion contract in Massachusetts, and the corruption stinks to high heaven.
Now, his qualification, Squirrel, is he's a convict. A convict did 10 years. Scum Democrat, husband of Ayanna Presley, who originated in Illinois, Chicago. You know Ayanna, Squirrel. She's bald.
A couple of weeks ago, the state awarded Presley's husband and his associates a $2 billion contract to build and run a courthouse, which they are then going to rent back to the state for 40 years. That alone.
You're gonna run a courthouse? You're a convict. Good news for the scumbags. Go to Democrat areas, scumbags. You'll be protected by other scumbags posing as government.